Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you live from Whitefish, Montana. And it has warmed up from this morning when I was cold, although my hands are still cold. I need to get more movement in, like fixing up this room, hauling everything back in. That'll warm me up. All right, but today I wanted to share with you a tool that does pretty much everything. There's not much that it can't do. Okay, it can't do your laundry, it can't clean your house, and it can't cook dinner. But it can do a lot in the craft room and outside of the craft room. I have used it with my husband, for my husband, outside of the craft room. But let's go ahead and talk about this amazing tool. All right, so it's called the Take Your Pick tool. Let me get zoomed in here because we are too far out. Here we go. Take Your Pick tool. All right. So when you buy your original Take Your Pick tool, this is how it comes. All right. Oh, that looks pretty bright, would you say? There we go. Still looks bright. Odd. All right. Still working out the lighting issue. So my hands look really funny. Let's see if we can, here we go. There we go. It was sharpness. Wow, man. Okay. Let's go back over here. All right. Yeah. All right, still working out the kinks with this. All right, so this is how it comes. You get this holder here. You get two of these little putty things. And I forgot to bring something to show you what the putty is for. Hang on, let me grab something. Here we go. We'll use these. So I'll show you first what the putty is for. All right, so you have the little gems and you want to put them on your card. You're going to take your little putty end right here, see that? Your putty end right there. And you can just push against it and it lifts it up like that. And then you can set it on your paper. Now, when it starts getting old like this, you can just peel it off, throw that part away, and then you just want to tighten this. All right, tighten it. This one's getting close to empty. It's been a long time. I've had this one for a very long time. And see, it starts coming out. Slowly but surely, it starts coming out. And then when you have enough there, then so that it doesn't keep coming out, you want to loosen it. All right, loosen it back up so that the pressure isn't on, and then you have enough putty right here, okay, to be able to pick up your gem or your bling, whatever, your embellishments, and put them back down. All right. Sometimes if you have small pieces of paper, you can use it to pick up small pieces of paper. Sequins, it'll pick up sequins. It'll pick up pretty much anything that it's too hard to pick up with your fingers. Then you have this putty end, all right? And it comes with two of them. And it takes me a long time to go through them, all right? So if they last a long time, they don't dry out, keep the lid on it. That will make the difference. And it just screws into this end. The other thing it comes with a poker end. Now you can also use this end to pick things up like that if you want. I find gems like this easier to use with this. But if you have glue dots, this is a lifesaver with glue dots because you're going to use it right here. Hi Missy, hi Covina, nice to have you on here. Hello Kathy, great to have you joining us. So this is great for glue dots. I know Missy, this was a game changer for Missy. She was about to just give up completely on the crafting and the kits because most of the kits come with glue dots. And then I told her, I said, hey, get yourself a Take Your Pick tool. It'll make all the difference in the world. And it did. She stuck around and she's part of my team and she's doing an awesome job and teaching people about the Take Your Pick tool. So you can use it for the dots. And when you set it down, you can use it to flip up that little lid and take that off. All right. I'm just going to leave that on there so it doesn't stick to things. And then you can also use it on the dimensionals to take their paper off. All right, just like that. So you can use it for that. You can use it for piercing things if you want. If you had some paper that you wanted to do a design with, you can use it for piercing. Okay, that's not something you've seen me do much. And with the piercing, you can also sew through it. So you could, let's see, what's my word? You could pace it out to where you have it down the edge of something about the same distance apart, and then you could thread string through it, and that gives you some extra added design. So just some possibilities. On this side, you have your little flat spatula type thing, and you can use this for smoothing out your glue. Just make sure you clean it afterwards. You can also use it for picking up embellishments. Not as easily, but you can. Again, I prefer the putty end for this kind of embellishment. If you had another type of embellishment, if you had sequence, adhesive back sequence, this would be good for sliding under it. We have some dots that are really hard and firm that the putty struggles to pick up with. These are great to, this is great to slide under it. So the spatula end could be used for pretty much anything, especially if you have to smooth something out or something. So you can punch out pieces from a die cut. Yes, you can. With this, you can totally do that. Punch out pieces from a die cut with this, for sure. I've been known to do that. But when it comes to, thanks for that segue there, Missy. When it comes to that, what a better thing to do is to get the brush. So you can order, see, I have multiple Take Your Pick tools. You can order the brush, and then it comes with 2 of these pads. Let me zoom back out a little bit. It comes with 2 of these pads. Oh, forgot to talk about that one. So the brush is separate, and it comes with 2 of these foam pads. But let me show you. Now, this is a piercing mat. This is a foam pad. You can see the difference. The density of it is totally different. This is truly a foam pad, more like a sponge. And let me show you how this is used. So if you have, and I like, this is our little mini, and I like to use this to hold it in place. So if you have a die, say something like this. Oh, I guess I should bring paper to die cut. All right, just grabbing what I have close at hand. I thought I was prepared. Here we go. I grabbed a whole lot of stuff, but apparently not everything. So we're going to run this through our little die cut machine here. And then it has all these little pieces. And see, it's stuck all in there. So if you want to get rid of it, you can just screw it into this end of your Take Your Pick tool, which is the same end that the putty is in. You would just have to take the putty out. And then you could just do this, and it will help get all those pieces out. Won't it? Oh, it didn't die cut all the way through. Wow. I've not had that happen. Let's try that again. All right, so we want to put this back in there. There we go. It slides right back in there. I guess I needed to run it through a couple times. With detailed dies, it probably is best practice to run it through a few times. So I'm going to run it this way. I'm going to run it back this way. I have a crack in this one. I think it's time to change it out. Let's see if that worked out better. Oh yeah, it went through this time. And so now this brush will help get the last of them. And then, like Missy said, you can also use this. This would be more for if you just had one or two things to pop out, you'd want to use that. If you have a whole sheet of them to pop out, the brush is a lot faster. All right, and then you can just throw those into the recycle bin and you have this. And it comes with 2 of these because the brush will eventually kind of tear them up. So that way you've got that replacement already on hand. So let's go ahead and move this out of the way. All right, and go on to the next thing because there's more. Yes, this tool has more. So remember, if you remember, I said it came with 2 putties. It came with this end and it came with a stylus end. This is a small stylus end and a fat stylus end, and I'm going to show you 2 possible ways that you can use it. So I've got here some cardstock and we're going to make a 3D cherry. So I'm going to pop that out. And then I'm going to do 2 leaves. Actually, I'm going to do 1 leaf. I did 2 on my sample one and it looked funny. So we're just going to go with 1 leaf and then 1 stem. All right. And then what you want to do is you're going to put your thick stylus. So your thin stylus will go in here. Your thick one will be out here. And I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to start going in a circle. All right, and see how it was flat and it's starting to curve. All right, so I'm just going to go. This works really well on flowers as well in helping them become more 3D. And I'm just going to keep going in circles, in circles. Let me zoom that in a little bit more for you. I'm just going in circles like this. And then when you turn it over, you can see it's curved. All right, so it's curved. But when you turn it over, then you have that full cherry. All right, and then on this side, you could do the same thing if you want it to just be curved, but I want the lines. You know how leaves have those little lines and veins? So let's see. Perfect for glue dots. Yes. Oh, so sweet. I'm doing. Oh, you are doing your best. You're doing awesome, Missy. You can punch out pieces from a die cut. Yes. Okay. So I'm all caught up with your things. So now with this one, what I want to do is I want to draw where those veins would be. So I'm going to just run this back and forth a few times where the vein would be, and then do the lines up. And I'm just going to go over it a few times and then go up. And I'm just going up. All right. So you can see that on the underside it looks like that, but then on the front side it looks like that. So it looks embossed. All right. I like this side. I think this side goes well because again it gives it a more 3D look. So I didn't do anything with the stem. So then we're going to take the stem, put a little bit of glue on this end, the little ball end that you would think was up, but really the cherry stem, this is fatter. It's not what you're pulling out. So then we're going to hold it like that. And then we're going to take our leaf, put a dab of glue on here, and put our cherry leaf up here. And now we have a nice 3D cherry to use on one of our cards. Cute, right? So that's one thing you can do with the stylus. The other thing you can do is if you need to score. If you had a piece of cardstock and say it was the front and you needed to score it and you didn't have a scoring blade, you could use some sort of straight edge and you could do your score line for folding. Okay, and then you can fold it. All right, so you can also do scoring with this. All right, so there's your embossing stylus. Either end using it for whichever you want. All right, so the next thing, let's see, I'm gonna put this one back together so I can keep track of it. That goes over here, this one goes over here, this goes over here, this goes over here, oh, I'm gonna need this. So again, this is your cutting mat, not cutting mat. This is your Stamp and Pierce mat. That's what it is, Stamp and Pierce mat. All right, so now I have another empty one because I have some things to show you with it. We have 3 new, and I do have a case for this. We have 3 new attachments, actually 4 new because this one is double-sided. So the first one I want to show you goes in here, and so that I don't poke myself again, I'm going to put this one in here. All right, so this, well, it's an X-Acto knife, right? We all have them, we've all seen them. So, but this is a nice big one and a sharp one, and again, it is used then for cutting. But let me show you what else you can do with it. When you stamp, and let's see, the nearest ink I have is Early Espresso, so we're just going to go ahead and do Early Espresso. So we have a pencil, all right. Well, I can either fussy cut it, or I can quickly use my knife and go around the edge. If I don't want a white edge, I can just stay right on that dark edge. I used to do a lot in my scrapbooking days. I used to do a lot of cutting with this. If I'd cut things out of a picture, or if I'd cut things out. So if you wanted to cut, if you wanted to make this colorful, you could cut out these different things and back it up with colored paper. All right. This goes pretty quick when it's straight lines especially, and it's super duper sharp. And there you've got your pencil all cut out. All right. So, great tool for any sort of cutting that you need. All right. Then we have a little hook. All right. So I was using it earlier, which is why it's a little goobery. I was using it to get the glue out of the cap that I have down in here. All right. So it works for that. You can use it when you are poking things out, again, just like the other pokers, you can use it for poking things out. If you are trying to pull a ribbon through, like when you're doing the sewing on here, if you're putting it through and you have a hard time, you can pull it through, okay, like you would any time use that. All right, so this hook, whatever you want to get to that needs a hook. And then on this end, this end is a skinnier piercing tool than this one. Let me get this one and show you the difference. So you can see the difference. One is really thick, one is super thin. All right, so if you needed smaller holes, you could totally do that. Or if you, again here, let's see, if you stamped something and you wanted to do a design behind it, you could do a pattern like that. You could do a little heart, you could do other patterns, you could do patterns for the whole back of your card if you wanted to. So it's great for piercing, and it's a finer hole than this. Okay, so you can see the finer hole. So if you were going to sew, I would use the fatter one for that. If you wanted to just make patterns and designs, then I would use the skinnier one. All right, let's see. Do they sell replacement blades? Not that I know of. I want to say it's a standard size blade, but I haven't checked it because in the past I had one like this where you popped it out, but look at the difference in size. This one is really nice, and I think you can buy those elsewhere, whereas these were harder to find because it was so small. But it was kind of nice because it was small. But this will be nice because if you're cutting, say, chipboard or something like that, this will cut the chipboard. All right. And the last one we have, we would screw out this top and we would bring in this, and this is a cute little rotary, and I don't remember the name of it. I don't know what I did with my paper. So it has protection so that you can't cut yourself, and then what you do is you pull that back like that. All right, and there's a couple things you can do with this. You can use it to also give perforated, that's what it is, perforated. You can do it really deep on here, and then you could use it for cutting, tearing off. Now this would be great if you had a young child and they had some sort of a reward chart and they had to tear off something each time they did what they were told to do and what the agreement was. So this would be easy because you could just make perforated edges for people, for the children to tear off. Okay, so that would be one way. Another way that I thought of it before I saw someone demonstrating it for that, I thought of it as making a design on your paper. So if you don't do it really hard all the way through, you have two different kinds of designs. So I did some here where it's a little bit stronger and you can see it kind of cut through, but not all the way. But I just did a bunch of different patterns through here, not pushing completely hard. All right, so that I just gave it a nice little background, almost like embossing, but semi-stitched looking as well. So that was my idea for using this perforated. I was really surprised when someone said to do this, and I was like, oh, I hadn't even thought of that. I saw it for doing the backgrounds of your cards. So you could use this as a fall background and then do some fall leaves or something with it. So I just did different lines in different directions, and some were deeper and some were not quite so deep. So some look stitched, some look just partially stitched. I think you can see that. Can you see that there? So this one is all the way through and the others are not quite. But I thought it looked pretty cool like that, and as a background. That was my thought when I first saw it. And then of course you want to store it where that is up so that you don't cut yourself on it. So I tend to keep this one separated, and I keep this on here because I tend to use this more often, and then this one, or the pick, the curved pick. So we have all these great tools. So there's not much that you can't do with the Take Your Pick tool and all the different parts and pieces that go with it. So you can use this. Where's the other foam? Here we go. This goes together with this, and I just keep it on here in my die cutting box. And then I have this in case this doesn't get something punched out. Then I have this end so that you can punch it out. So this is always with my die cuts. And then I have these two in my toolbox here. So I just wanted to show you all the variety and all the different ways that you can use this. I know you see me use this one the most, and now you might see me use some of these as well as we do other things in the lives. So what do you think? Is that a tool you just can't live with? I mean, I've been a crafter for, since 1997. And I've been using this for about 5 years. And for the last 5 years, I've been wondering, how did I ever craft with it before it was here? I have no idea how I did. So it's pretty amazing, and it's not super expensive. So give it a whirl if you're interested, and have fun with it, because wow. And you don't have to have this many. You can just have one and then change out all the different parts. I'm too lazy. Plain and simple, I'm too lazy to change it out. I want them already on something so that I don't have to worry about it. That's me though. You be you, I'll be me, and we're gonna get along beautifully. All right, thanks Missy, I appreciate that. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your evening. It is Wednesday. It is the downhill slide to the weekend. So enjoy, and I will see you next time. maybe this weekend, as soon as I get the room done. I'm getting there. Really, I promise you. I know you're thinking, man, you are taking forever. It was a way bigger job than I thought it was. It truly was. And other life things have happened to where it's not as if I've been able to work solely and completely on the room. I wish I had had a full week to just work on the room, but that's not the way life happens, right? Because it's life. So enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.